Galton, the Nutrition Educator at the Interfaith Food Pantry. I'm in our Healthy Choices kitchen at the pantry. Today I'm going to be making a burrito bowl. That's going to be a burrito. I'm going to put it in a bowl instead of a wrap. I think you'll like it. While we're making the burrito bowl, I'm going to be talking just a little bit about the benefits of plant-based foods. So first, let me just talk a bit about the concept of a bowl. This is a frozen, unwrapped burrito bowl. It's what they called it, that I got in the freezer section at the grocery store. And you can see that it's a combination of food, and that's really the whole idea of a bowl. Just put what you like into a bowl. It's all in one place. You can arrange it any way you like it and then have fun eating it. This includes a lot of the same ingredients that we're going to put into our bowl. It has some brown rice, has some beans, it's two different kinds of beans, and has some corn. And you're going to see that ours is very similar, but I think you're going to like it even better. So to get started with our burrito bowl, I've put some oil in the pan, and that's getting warm. I'm just going to mix a few ingredients together in the pan. I'm going to start with my black beans, which as always I've rinsed and drained. I'm going to put some corn in, and you could use fresh corn if you wanted to take it off the cob. You could use canned corn. This happens to be frozen corn. You can put it right in here frozen. Then of course we want to give a little flavor to this, so we're going to put some seasonings in. Oh, I need to get my spoon out. It's mixed up a little bit. I'm also going to put this up just a little bit. So for our seasonings, I'm going to use some cumin, which is a nice flavor for a burrito, or chili. And then I am going to put a little bit of cayenne in, so that's going to give it a little spice. If you don't like spice, leave it out. And then if you want to put a little pepper in, and sprinkle a little pepper in. This is optional, pepper and salt. Often a recipe will say salt and pepper to taste, and that's because you put in the amount that you want. So I'll put just a pinch of salt in. I don't like to cook with a lot of salt, and it's better to put just a little bit in if you're going to be using it, and taste it later, see if you need to put a little bit more in. You don't want to over salt it initially. But with the other spices, we'll give it flavoring, so you really often can just leave that salt out, which we all know that's going to be better for your heart and your blood pressure. So this is going to cook for just a few minutes, really just to get those flavors blended together. Now I mentioned we'd be thinking about plant-based foods. When we talk about plant-based foods, we're thinking obviously of food that comes from plants. But what does that mean? Sometimes people are surprised when they realize where their foods come from. So we're thinking about grains, things like rice, wheat, oatmeal, barley, quinoa, all grains that grow from a plant. We're thinking about, obviously, vegetables. All vegetables come from plants. Fruits come from plants. Nuts come from plants. Nuts, you think of where almonds come from? From a tree. You think where walnuts come from? From a tree. These are all plant-based foods that have a lot of benefits, health benefits, all great sources of fiber for us. They all contain a variation and a lot of different nutrients and something called phytochemicals, which help our body stay healthy, help keep our cells strong and fight. So this is coming along. Really, we just want to get that mixed together. So next I'm going to add some tomatoes. I chopped tomato, but if you'd rather, you can use canned tomatoes. Just going to put those in. We just really want to soften these. This is going to be like the filling part of our burrito. We'll let that cook for. Our burrito is going to have the filling, it's going to have some brown rice, and it's going to have some greens. So the green that I chose to use today was spinach. Again, another power-packed nutrient. Power-packed vegetable filled with nutrients. So I'm just going to chop it a little bit to make it a little bit easier when we're eating it in the bowl. But you could use lettuce, you could use cabbage, any kind of green that you like. Just trying to get these into a bite size, just to go a little bit better in our bowl. All right, that was easy. Gonna give that a stir. And you know what? This is really ready already. We're practically done. The last thing I'm going to put in is a little bit of cheese. Just going to put that in. Take that off of the heat, let it sit there for a minute, let that cheese get nice and melted in there. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see how nice that cheese has melted. It looks delicious. And now we're ready to put our burrito bowl together. Reach for my bowl. Actually, I think I'm going to move this here. I'm going to, the base of my bowl is going to be some brown rice. Remember I mentioned that whole grains are a good source of fiber, and also a great plant-based food. So the recipe says just use half a cup of rice. So this is really important if we think about portions. Half a cup. I'm going to measure this. You don't always have to measure everything at home, but I think sometimes it's a good idea to measure it and see exactly what that looks like. That's a half a cup of rice, which is what is considered a serving. So I'm going to put this at the bottom. If you're making your bowl at home, this is where some creativity comes in. If you'd like to, you can divide it in sections, put your rice here, put your greens in this section, put your beans and tomatoes in the other section. I'm just going to put it all together on top of each other. So I'm going to put a half a cup of the rice. I'm also going to put a half a cup of the greens. Now, that's what the recipe guides me to do. Which, by the way, if you like this recipe, you can find that on our website. I can mention that a little bit later as well. But here's where you can really make this your own recipe. If I was doing this at home, I would put a lot more than half a cup of greens in. Because, tell you the truth, it doesn't look like a lot. You could, if you're trying to get more vegetables into your diet, you could easily increase that. So I have my greens. And then I'm going to put, let's see what the suggestion is here. And we're just going to take what we have here, our mixture, and divide it into 3. So ideally from this this would make 3 bowls, 3 servings. I'm going to take a portion of this, put it on top. And then, again, here's where you can add what you like. I'm going to put a little bit of Greek yogurt on top. I like to use Greek yogurt as a substitute for sour cream. It's got the same consistency and kind of the same texture and the same, I think the same flavor. But you're going to get a lot less fat, and you're even going to get a little bit of protein and calcium from it. So you can put that on as a topping. If you like hot, you could put some hot sauce on. If you have salsa, you could put some salsa on. I'm also going to squeeze a little bit of lime juice on top, which just kind of perks all the flavors up. So we're just going to squeeze that on top. It smells so good. And then the burrito bowl is ready to go.
Go ahead.
Thanks for joining us today. Stay tuned for next month when we'll definitely be talking about fall flavors.